exercise with you. So if you're following along with the video when you're doing them, especially when you're first learning it, you'll pause and do whatever reps or sets and then come back to it. So we'll start with where we were in class this morning. So today was Thursday Hot Yoga with John, and talk about that navel to spine thing when you were lying on your back. So we'll start there, and hopefully this is something you can do shortly after surgery, but for sure you can do it now and every day up until surgery. So feet hip distance apart in what we call constructive rest, and you have that curve in your lower back. You can feel that kind of S curve in your low back. You're not trying to smash your back down into the mat at all. But we're gonna lie here, inhale just like normal, and then with your exhale, draw your belly button down to your spine. So we call it navel to spine, not very imaginative, navel to spine. So you draw the belly button in and down, and then you do that with your breath. Inhale and relax. Exhale, draw your navel into your spine. Inhale, relax, and exhale, draw your navel into your spine. And then after you've done that about 4 times, you're going to hold that for a few breaths, for 10 to 15 seconds. So you keep breathing by moving through your rib cage, but your abdomen stays still. So that motion, that navel to spine, is going to be the beginning of everything else you do for your ab strengthening, for strengthening your core. So before we do anything else, that's the first thing you're going to do, is draw your navel into your spine. So the next thing we're going to do, we've got the navel into the spine. Then let's work on that imprint. We also did this in class today, but let me remind you, this is where you draw your belly down, use the strength of your core to just lightly imprint your spine into the mat. So if you think about just little dimples in the sand, that's what you're making. You're not smashing it flat, just relaxing into it. And we're not going to use our glutes to do that. The glutes are going to stay soft. You can, but then it's not strengthening the core. So we'll inhale, everything's soft. Exhale, draw your navel into your spine. Continue exhaling, imprint your lower back, so that's flat against your mat. And then relax. Relax your imprint and relax your abdomen. And then we'll do that again. Take a deep breath in. Navel to spine. Imprint your back. Release the imprint. And then release your abdomen. So we'll do that just as we did with the navel to spine, the beginning. 3 or 4 times, and then the last one you'll hold that down and practice breathing just by moving your rib cage up and out. Okay, once you've done those 2 things, then you're ready for something called the 100. And there are different variations of the 100. I'm giving you the most gentle one, and when this starts to feel easy, then we'll move on, okay? But for now, navel to spine. Slide imprint with the back, just gentle. Then we're going to float the hands right here and then lift up the head. And you're going to feel your abs start to contract here. So you lift up your head and then you pump your arms. You'll inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll keep on going, you guessed it, 100 times. 10 sets of 10, so that's 10 breaths, inhaling for 5 counts and exhaling for 5 counts. Don't make those counts too slow. Don't worry about getting to 100. You get as far as you can go with your core engaged the entire time. Navel to spine, slight imprint of your low back into your mat. That's supposed to be a warm-up, so if it generates some heat, then you're doing it just fine. Once we've done that, we're going to move on to shoulder bridge. I'm checking my list over here. That's what you see me doing. Shoulder bridge, we've done these in yoga. They're familiar to you, but let me remind you, your shoulders go down and back. You draw your low belly in. So imprint to start, navel to spine, imprint, and then you start, think about your tailbone. Lift it up and peel everything up until you have a straight line, knee, hip, and shoulder. You'll inhale here, navel to spine again, and then come back down. And you're trying to bring one vertebrae at a time down, nice and slow. And this resisting gravity is where the strength is going to come from in your core. So we'll do that again. Deep breath in here, navel to spine, imprint your spine. This is your exhale. Lift the tailbone, peel up. Take an inhale here, re-engage your core, navel to spine, and down we go. So you're going to roll through an imprint on the way down. Your lower back is going to touch down before your tailbone. Once you've done that a few times, this is called a magic ring in Pilates. We have a bunch of them hanging on the back wall at the gym. Next time I see you, I'll give you one to borrow, or you can buy one if you want to, but you may as well borrow it first and see if you like it. We're going to hold it right up here. So when we hold a magic ring, we don't use our fingers, so we just press with the heel of the hand. And you're going to feel, when you press into it, your core working. So we'll take a deep breath in, navel to spine, and press. And then relax and do that again. Inhale, navel to spine, and then squeeze the hands toward each other. Your arms are straight. And then relax. As per usual, we'll do this 4 times, and then the 5th time you're going to hold it for 10 or 15 seconds while you breathe. So we'll draw the navel to the spine and squeeze this magic ring. And then relax. You'll give yourself a little bit of a break before we use it for the next exercise, where we combine the shoulder bridge and this magic ring. So we hold it straight up. The wrists are right above the shoulders. We inhale here, navel to spine, imprint the back. Start your exhale, everything lifts up as the arms squeeze and come back behind your head. The ring is going to touch the floor. When the hips come up high, we'll inhale here, navel to spine again, and exhale, and come back down. So you'll move through that 5 times. Inhaling, engage the core, everything lifts up back behind you. And exhaling, we come down. So in this motion, we don't pause anywhere. We just do that 5 times, and then it's time to move on to the next thing, which is this magic ring right between your knees. It's right above the knee at the bottom of your quad. And then we're going to squeeze it enough that your legs are still hip distance apart. Believe it or not, this is a lot of work right now in my core, holding my legs like this. We want to feel all 4 corners of both feet the whole time. So we take a deep breath in, draw the navel into the spine, imprint the back, and squeeze. This is our exhale. You squeeze for the length of your exhale. And then on your inhale, you relax everything. If your legs go a little bit wider to relax, that's just fine. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, navel to spine. Imprint the back. Squeeze. That squeeze happens for the length of your exhale. And then relax everything as you inhale. Just like the rest, we're going to do this 4 times. And then the 5th time, you're going to squeeze with your core engaged and hold that for 10 or 15 seconds or for as long as you can. If you'd like to add on to that, we're going to squeeze and engage and then lift into shoulder bridge. So we lift, 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 still squeezing, and then come on down. So it's just like the shoulder bridge you're familiar with. We're just adding the strength of this ring to it. So we inhale here, squeezing, navel to spine, imprint the back. Exhale, we lift up, still squeezing, and then come on down. And relax everything. We would do that 5 times without any holding at all. Let's see what's next. We did these in class today, and so let me go over those again one more time. They're super variable depending on your strength and how your back is feeling. These are called sit backs. And so we would hold on right here with our fingers, just two, don't use them all, just two fingers. Draw your tummy in just a tiny bit, a little tuck in the pelvis, just a tiny bit. So the navel comes into the spine, your heart is lifted, and then we're going to sit back. We sit back and sit back and sit back, and then sit up. And we're going to do that again. So in yoga, we sit back and hang out there for a while. In Pilates, we wouldn't do that. And in your post-op, you wouldn't do that either. Sit up nice and tall. Draw your tummy in. You're going to pull, like if you imagine somebody had a finger on your belly button and was pulling back just a little bit. Just a slight tuck in the pelvis. And then from there, you sit back and then up. So you do that 5 times without any pauses, just moving with your breath. Draw your low belly in, navel to spine, slight tuck in the pelvis, sit back, still breathing, and sit up. And you add on to the challenge by sitting back further or letting go with your hands. And then the last one before our rest is toe dips. So this one you can build on also. You draw your legs up. Traditionally we start here. You could do this if it works for you. You'll know right away if it does or not. Or we can start with one leg down. This is how you know. Your legs are up. We call this tabletop. Your legs are the table. And your navel comes into your spine and you imprint. Now that imprint has to stay there. We don't want the back moving at all for this. So your core is engaged before you do anything else. We're only moving the hip. We're not moving the knee. So we're just going to dip that leg down toward the floor. You can feel your abs start to work here. And as soon as you don't have an imprint anymore, your back arches or your ribs flare up, that's far enough. We go back and start again. So navel to spine, imprint the back. We're going to dip that leg down toward the floor. As soon as you feel that engagement start to challenge, then we go back the other way. If that doesn't work, by that I mean you can't move the leg without flaring in the ribs and letting go of your abs, we're going to start with both feet on the floor and do one leg at a time. Everything else is the same. Belly into the spine, imprint the back. Here we go. Leg comes down, down, down. It might touch the floor, it might not. And then back up. You'll do 5 times on each side. And then when you're feeling stronger, you're going to do both legs at once. It's a lot more difficult. I would wait. And you'll know. You'll know when you're ready. And then the last thing we did today in class also is that spine stretch forward. And it looks like this. Your legs are a little wider than your shoulders. And if you like them a little wider than that, go right ahead because we're not twisting. Just however it feels good in your hips. And we stretch the arms out so they're parallel with the floor. We take a deep breath in here. And then we bring the chin down first. Start your exhale. Navel comes into your spine. Make your back round. And then reach forward. Your arms stay parallel with the floor here and your feet stay flexed. We'll inhale while you're here. Draw your navel into your spine again. And exhale and stack up. And really imagine stacking bricks up, your spine getting longer and longer and longer as you're here. We'll inhale to prepare, draw the navel into the spine. Exhale, chin comes down, round the upper back and reach forward parallel to the floor. We'll inhale to prepare, navel to spine. Exhale, reverse that. Stack up your bones, stack them up, lengthen out through the crown of the head. You'll do that 5 times without any pauses. And that's what I have for you. Altogether, it should take about 20 minutes. If you have any questions about any parts of it, let me know. I'll be happy to help you, and I wish you the best in your surgery and in your healing.